Greetings, chess players. Here we go. Greetings, chess players, and welcome to the Daily Chess Musings channel. Today I'm going to be playing a game of chess with one of my students in a tournament simulation game, so he cannot hear what I'm saying. Only you will hear what I'm saying. This way his thinking is natural, and then afterwards we will go through and evaluate it. I will with my student. But while I'm playing, I'm going to be broadcasting this game. And before we get started, I just want to remind everybody that my first online summer chess camp, it's free. Free online summer chess camp, all ages, all skill levels are welcome, is this coming week in June. All right, now let me get to the game with my student. Let's see. And I'm going to go ahead and accept the challenge right now. And here we go. I get to be white. I got my flavored bubble water. And I play d4 to start with. And I'm gonna shake things up a little fast today and play e4 right off the bat, creating some early tension in the center of the board, Blackmar Deemer style. Yeah, so my free chess camp's really fun. I have a list of very strong chess players who are going to be joining me. James Eade, FIDE Master James Eade, top chess author James Eade. He wrote Chess for Dummies, best-selling chess book of all time, will be there. Lauren Goodkind, really a good and kind teacher, plus a great chess author in her own right. Attacking Maestro Francisco Anchondo. FIDE Master Kevin Pan, FIDE Master Eric Lee, and Grandmaster Mackenzie Molnar will all be joining me giving live lessons during the free online summer chess camp. I think a lot of times I actually take back with my queen there, and maybe this time I should have. But this is fine. This is fine. Now, if I were to play bishop c4, I bet he would play e6. But I'm going to go ahead and play it anyways. We'll see if he plays e6 right away. It develops a piece and gets me ready to castle, so seems legit. My student that I'm playing here has really been just doing awesome lately. I don't know, in the past couple months, his ratings just like taken a trajectory, straight to the moon. In fact, he just recently took part in a Scholastic State Championship in which he defeated the strongest player he's ever defeated to date, one of the top players in his section. Yeah, he did play e6, so this interferes with my bishop's threat on the belly button, of course. Now, I could play bishop g5 here, pinning his knight, or I could just simply castle. I'm going to keep aggressive, play bishop g5. I don't know this opening specifically inside and out. I just, honestly, it's kind of the way it is with a lot of openings with me. I just use good methods for evaluating positions. The check, captures, and threats that I talk about a lot. If you want to know more about the check, capture, and threat system to evaluating moves, you can view my YouTube channel for that, or sign up for the free online summer chess camp. Yep, things are going swimmingly right now. No worries in the opening so far. I've got 4 pieces developed. My opponent only has 2. And then I'm gonna castle. So I am castled. I've got 4 pieces developed. Rook in a semi-open file. Pawn in the center. My rooks are not unified yet, and I haven't touched the rook on the A1 square. So you want to be touching all your pieces. If you want to understand why it's important to use all your, touch all your pieces early, again, you can go find that on my YouTube channel, or you can sign up for the chess camp. You'll learn a lot. It's for all skill levels, all age groups, and it is free. It's a free online chess camp with the very best local, chess coaches and such I know from my region, and also, oh, good, Megan's showed up to adjust my screen a little bit so you can see the whole board. Thank you. That's wonderful. All right. So now you guys can see the whole board. Sorry about the start, but the little edge there, I guess, wasn't too important so far in the game. All right. Yeah, so I have the best and brightest chess teachers and players joining me. Like I said, James Eade, Eric Lee, Kevin Pan, FIDE Masters, all of them. Mackenzie Molnar, Grandmaster Mac, right? I'm super excited about the free online summer chess camp. You can find out about it by going to dailychessmusings.com. Am I going to unify my rooks here? Sure. I gotta be careful though. Here's the reason. Before I go and play a dubious move, let me get focused again. If my opponent were to move his knight on f6, it sets up a double attack on h4, which could be problematic for me. Yeah, I think I got myself into a slightly a position I didn't want to. Giving it bigger thought here, but that's all right. That's all right. I'll fight my way out. I still have more pieces developed than my opponent, and a pawn in the center. How's the weather where you guys are, if you're watching right now? It's bright and sunny in Northern California. I mentioned my friends from around the region, FIDE Master James Eade, FIDE Master Kevin Pan, FIDE Master Eric Lee. We're all enjoying, and Lauren Goodkind, and Attacking Maestro Francisco Anchondo, we are all enjoying super sunny summer weather. It's just beautiful. It's going to get a little too hot for comfort soon, but that's okay. It just means it's time to fill up the cooler with maybe some ice cream and go to the park at night and just enjoy a breeze and a tasty treat. In fact, my daughter graduated the 8th grade, so yeah, we're planning a little soiree, ice cream soiree. Let's see. Queen e2 seems legit. I unify my rooks. Again, I was calculating big time to make sure that I'm not going to get clobbered by the knight on f6 moving and threatening a valuable target while my bishop is double attacked. And hopefully I did those calculations right. I started getting a little distracted with the ice cream ideas. My opponent has a nice edge in time already, but that's okay. This is supposed to be a long game. Oftentimes I stream on Thursday nights against players from Gomes, but we finished the Gomes Chess Club a couple Thursdays ago, maybe last Thursday, and therefore, yeah, thought it'd be nice to do one of these simulated tournament rounds. Last night I had the distinct pleasure of going to the Menlo Park Chess Club in Menlo Park, California. You can see pictures from my visit there on my blog at dailychessmusings.com. There he goes with the, see, he's attacking this a couple times, right? So I'm going to take his bishop, is what I'm thinking, and if he takes with his queen, then I'm going to take, so if I do this, if he takes with his queen, he's going to be in trouble, because then I take here with my knight, right? So let's see. All right, so he took with his knight. He did not fall for the trouble. Means his knight is now oddly placed for the moment, and his queen did not move forward. So right now I have 5 pieces developed versus his oddly his bishop and his oddly placed knight. So I'm doing pretty good with development. I also have this pawn in the center. I want to touch this rook. Should I? Here's the big question. Should I go like rook to d1, putting in the same file as queen? Or go rook to e1, where it would have more scope. It sees more forward squares. This is a decision, right? Rook a to d1 or rook a to e1? We like to put a rook in the same file as our opponent's queen. But we also like to form batteries and put a rook in a file where we don't have a pawn. I think the rook to d1 may be the best choice because I can see that this pawn is kind of a target. And so this gives it some extra support, plus the rook is in the same file as my opponent's queen. Let's see, is anybody watching live right now? We got 10 viewers. That's wonderful. Feel free to say hi in the chat. And also feel free to open up another browser window and go look at dailychessmusings.com. Register for the free online summer chess camp. Every summer it's something I do and have been for quite some time. I donate my time to help people get better at chess and work with other great chess players. That's the benefit for me, right? It gives me an excuse to collaborate. And you collaborate with people like Mackenzie Molnar, Grandmaster Mac, FIDE Master Kevin Pan, FIDE Master Eric Lee, FIDE Master James Eade. You collaborate and you get better as a chess player and you learn things and you learn new lessons to help your other students. All right, so here's the threat on that pawn, which is why I put this rook here in the first place. Now, I'm thinking about moving my knight closer to my opponent's king, so onto their side of the board. And obviously, if knight takes, pawn takes, in which case my rook would be staring at my opponent's queen. So this is, you know, the idea is slightly improving my position of my pieces with threats. This bishop's not terribly effective at all right now. You know, I probably shouldn't have put it on c4. I probably should not have. Okay, so the knight to e5 actually is not a good move. Because my opponent would just play knight takes d4, right? Threatening my queen. I mean, this, yeah, you got to recalculate things. Make sure you're not making foolish mistakes. And this bishop's not so great either. Now, if I pull my bishop back and threaten my student's bishop here, threatening to mess up the pawn structure a little bit, then if he takes, I can take, and if he takes, I take like that and threaten the queen. Ah, but when he takes, it's a check. Yeah, so when he takes with his queen, it's a check. So this doesn't work either. You got to be mindful. See, this here is not such a good situation for me. That's not good either. The fact that that pawn is on the same diagonal as my king, the pawn in question, and there's no pawn on f2. This is getting a little tricky. It could, in fact, be one of these situations where it might be beneficial for me to move my queen to f2, which gives, yeah, more support to this d4 pawn. Unfortunately, yeah, and creates an e2 square, so I can avoid a trade of bishops if my opponent were to move his knight for that. So I'm going to play queen f2. It coordinates my rook and queen. So these two pieces are now working together. My rooks are coordinated on a rank. My rook and queen are coordinated on a file. Pieces like to work together. But my opponent is going to be catching up, and then in development, and then just be a pawn up very soon. Because I'm moving the same piece again. Okay, now this is the type of creative stuff I'm used to seeing from my student. He is threatening c2 twice, which usually is not a problem. But here it is a problem. And I'm going to drop this bishop back. I need to play a little bit faster, so I add a second defender. I do lose occasionally to students, of course. In fact, in the last Monday Night Daily Chess Musings Blitz tournament, the first game is like my brain wasn't quite ready to go. I was lucky to get a draw in that first game. I flagged my opponent, and he had a definite huge winning advantage. I just played terribly the first game. After that, then I got kind of... Sometimes your brain's not ready. So if you're a first-time viewer, thank you. And if you're a returning viewer, that's wonderful. I'm playing a nice, slow, thoughtful chess game here against one of my students who's really been improving a lot. Oh boy. Okay. So my student is attacking me with less pieces, with less force. He is only using 3 pieces. I am using 6. So I should be okay. I should be. Doesn't do anything for me, really. Okay. No. All right, so I'm looking at 2 different things, and they both are using knights. One of my ideas is simply to pop my knight up here, getting it closer to my opponent's king. There's nothing stopping me from doing that right away. My other idea is kind of a little strange, but it's knight b1, then pawn to c3, which strengthens d4 and sends this knight away. And then moving that knight to d2. I'm going to go with the strange idea. Let's see if we learn something. Going with the strange idea. I'm undeveloping a knight. Costs me a tempo, but I believe I get this tempo back with pawn c3, so. Don't forget to sign up for the free online summer chess camp. Even if you can't be there like every day, well, I mean, I don't send you to detention or anything. You don't get kicked out. You can try and then do some days live, and other days you can do them in the middle of the night. I mean, in the past I've had big classes from students in China, in Greece, different time zones. Okay. So the c6 move was a little slow on my student's part, and now his knight has to... Okay. Maybe not. All right. So the bishop takes my knight. That's interesting, isn't it? And if I take with my rook, then my rook's no longer in the same file as my opponent's queen. I could also take here, but then he takes back. Yeah, we don't want to invite a knight there and weaken the big thing. We're just going to take here. Yeah. This is good for me, though, and I'll tell you why. Because he no longer... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no. What is going on here? I am being attacked by only 2 pieces. I have a bunch more. I should be okay. But yet I feel uneasy. I can see why too. Oh boy. This is kind of fun. So if I play queen e2, then he can play knight f4, which defends this and also attacks my queen. So that's a little bit unpleasant. However, then his knight is kind of obligated to stay there defending if I play queen d1. So I'm thinking queen e2. If he plays knight f4, then I play queen d1, and then I try and sneak in pawn to g3, removing the guard. But then his knight can come out here and say check. He's all right. He's okay. So this whole idea doesn't work because of a silly check. All right, well, we can't go losing our queen. I think we all agree on that. You can't just go dropping your queen, and you need to try and avoid the secondary attack. Queen e2 allows this knight to improve with knight f4. I'm glad I've got this covered, because when my queen moves, if I didn't, this queen b6 with the knight here could be very bad. I think I'm going to play queen g3. And I do. My time is not showing on stream. Okay, I've got 1329 Arcane Doctrine. Thank you for letting me know. Maybe I can, yeah, let me, well, I mean, yeah. Let me see if I can do a quick, so I click this, and then, nope, that's not how you do it. Nope, you click over here, and then you, nope, that's not how you do it. Oh, well. I've got, maybe my wife may come by again and fix that, if she happens to be in the neighborhood. But I have like 13 minutes. My opponent has a lot more time than me. A lot more time. We are not playing with an increment. And I have more pieces developed. But he's caused me, you know, my student is very creative. This is why he's going to be a very strong chess player. He's going to be a chess master in the not too distant future, because of his, he does things that are, seem like they're, shouldn't be good. It seems like they're a contradiction to chess strategy. But he finds this loophole. And he does it with regularity. If you're capable of breaking the rules that you're supposed to follow at the right times to win games, you're talented. All right, so that goes to f4 anyways. And now he is threatening. Check it out. Poof. And that would be the big fork of the king and queen. So this is kind of unpleasant. So we need to stop that. And even if I say move my rook here, he could move his knight and threaten this rook right away. Tricky knights, right? That's why they're a lot of people's favorite pieces. Round and around they go. Swarming. Annoying. I could move my king. Then if he goes there, it's not a fork. I can move my queen someplace else. Potentially I could put a bishop here, but then, you know, pawn b5 is gonna mess it up. I got 12 minutes in time. I know my clock's not showing on stream. So I am at 12:04 as I contemplate this. I think moving this rook forward is going to be pretty good, but then his knight goes there again. So I need to guard both these squares. They trouble me. This rook is just not doing much now. So although if let's say I put this rook here and he goes here, then when I move the rook again, he can take here. Let's say move forward, and then we get a repeating position. So it's a little bit annoying, but I'm down to 11 minutes now. So I may end up getting a repeating position draw. Let's see. Is he going to play the knight d3 immediately? And then I could go here with my rook, and then his knight could go back. Or he could bring the other knight in. These tricky, tricky knights. There's only two of them. I've got all these pieces. They shouldn't be causing me this much trouble, honestly. And yet here we are, right? Chess is a beautiful game. It's an absolutely beautiful game. I think this might be, were my student, this particular student, to beat me, it would be his first victory over me, I think. That's always a big moment in a student's career. Big moment for the teacher, too. Obviously, our goal as teachers is to get our students to be better than we are. Does that sound weird? Probably. But here's the thing. If, let's say, a teacher teaches a student and the student never surpasses the teacher, then that student becomes a teacher, teaches a student, and his student doesn't surpass that teacher, so on, so forth. Eventually, we will regress into very bad chess instead of progressing. Okay, so this pawn is pinned in some ways. Like he could potentially play e5 now, because his queen is on the same diagonal as my king. He still has the other threats of like bringing this over here and this over here kind of things, and now his queen is involved too, so he has a full another piece. I've got 10 minutes, so 1/3 of my time left. I think now would be a great time to play knight e5. Because he cannot, reply with f6 right away and then e5 because of that threat, forking his queen and rook. So here we go, knight e5. And now, a questionable strategy for me, if things get a little too dicey, is I could always trade a rook for 2 knights. I could. Which, in fact, evens up material, because I'm only 1 point down. So I'm threatening a fork and threatening to even up material. Free online summer chess camp. The famous daily chess musings free online summer chess camp starts on Monday. Also, if you're subscribing to my YouTube channel, you know very soon there's going to be some very exciting chess shorts. You've seen the preview for it. They are coming very soon. Many of them have been recorded already. The subject matter is going to be endgames, and they're going to be very important endgames and very useful endgames to understand. And I'm going to break them down in less than a minute time. So you can, endgames are a weakness for a lot of players because you get less practice in them. And I'm going to use the short format. Video shorts are quite popular on numerous platforms. I'm going to use this short format video to teach endgames, the most important, and progress. The subject could go on forever, right? I mean, I could make 1,000 shorts easy on endgames. Should I? I'm down to 9.5 minutes. I can even up material here. And get rid of these darn knights. Let's do it. Boom. Let's get rid of those knights. Those knights have been bugging the heck out of me, right? So, it could be one of those things where I'm letting my emotions cloud, the better judgment. However, those knights were also dangerous. No more pesky knight. It's gone. Yep. And evened out material. So immediately, I would really like to move this bishop here, like move this queen here, right? And threaten stuff down there, because my knight's already in the zone to do some damage to the g6 defense. So I would be willing to allow my opponent to take a b2. I'm willing to do it. If I get... Oh, and it looks like I do. He's coming right after me, though. See this? He's coming right at... Remember that relationship I talked about with his queen on the same diagonal as my king? Okay, things are going to get exciting now. And this is where you have to analyze, you guessed it, your checks, captures, and threats. Analyze the checks, captures, and threats. I've got enough time to play an endgame quickly if need be, but if I make a mistake here, I lose. Checks, captures, threats. Interesting. Very interesting. Now, rook d1 kind of takes care of... You know, if I don't like the queen on the same diagonal as my king, I love having my knight here. Don't get me wrong. It's a good outpost for the knight, but I'm going to go ahead and play knight c4. Attack the queen. Go away, queen. I got rid of those pesky knights, right, Arcane Doctrine? Now I'm going to move the queen off the diagonal of my king. You don't want a queen to be on the same roadway as your king. It's not good for the long-term health of your monarch. Okay. And again, we have this potential for a back and forth kind of thing. I could play knight e5 and threaten it again. I could. But instead I am thinking of this bishop c2. Oh, but now I can't, never mind. Yeah. All right, I see the problem now. And I am a little low on time, so I'm going to play knight e5 again. Let's see if he goes back to b6. If he does, it's kind of a draw, which, considering I blew through a lot of my time early, and we're kind of in a mostly even position, would be acceptable. Okay. Let's see if he tries to avoid this draw. He could. Again, I'm okay with it. It wouldn't be the end of the world. I tried a few things; they didn't quite work out. His knights were costing me a lot of time in terms of actual chess clock. I have 7 minutes 17 seconds. Okay. So here's kind of the big moment. Should I take the draw? Should I? I know it'll be disappointing to my viewers if I do. But I just don't feel... With his queen on b6, it's on the same diagonal as my king. With his queen on c6, it stops my queen from going to the important e4 square, where I can form a battery with bishop c2. And I am down to 6 minutes, 38 seconds, no increment. My opponent has 14 and a half. So He could just make a new plan of attack. I would, let's see if he goes for it, right? I mean, personality of chess students matters here. I have one particular chess student who's been lacking aggressiveness lately, and I've been working with her on that. This particular chess student does not lack aggressiveness. When you got the draw in the bank like he does, then you should use some extra time to see if you can finagle something. Now, what I want to do, let me say again, what I want to do is this, threaten checkmate there, and then when he blocks on e6, I just take with the knight, right? That's what I want to do. Aha! And I am going to get a chance to do it. I am going to get a chance to do this. Possibly. Ah, there goes this check again. Dang it. So I'm thinking about, queen e4, right? And then if he takes, then I play bishop c2. But he doesn't. Yeah, okay. I'm going to go for it. Here we go. We're going for it. I'm setting up my attack. My assault on the castled king. I have 5 minutes 52 seconds. My opponent has 13:18. I still have some pesky knight moves where I can attack his queen. This silly knight c4 stuff. But my goal is to play bishop c2 and cause a problem. If he tries to scare my knight away first, then my knight goes back to f3, where it's helping to defend d4, which is also useful. Free online summer chess camps starting on Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Go to dailychessmusings.com, sign up. All age levels, all skill levels are welcome. I've got Grandmaster Mac, Mackenzie Molnar, FIDE Master James Eade, FIDE Master Eric Lee, FIDE Master Kevin Pan, top chess author Lauren Goodkind, and Attacking Maestro Francisco Anchondo will all be joining me this coming week for live lessons. There will also be assignments and in-camp tournaments. It's a lot of fun. It's the excuse you've been avoiding maybe to do the work to get better as a chess player. I'm giving you a good reason to do it now. This coming week. Go ahead. You have permission to improve as a chess player, and it won't even cost you anything except some time, which is what it does take. Time and study. It'll be guided study, different skill level groups, lots of fun. Level up. You could level up in 1 week. You could increase your chess ability in 1 week. And we do 3 of them. Okay. All right, so there's the f5 move. Creates a weak point on e6, right? It's very aggressive. Good for you for being aggressive. 5.5 minutes, so I'm switching into faster mode. And I'm looking at this tasty pawn down here. Let's do it. Queen takes b2. I take my first lead in material of the game. I am now ahead in material. Threatening to do more. Okay. Good for you. Good for you, sir. This was a good move. Again, let's look at the checks, captures, threats. We always have time to do that. Checks, captures, and threats. I sense a win coming. I'm looking at knight g6. Knight c6 as well. Knight c6 and knight g6 both attack rooks and are threatening a second check here. But knight c6, okay. And he can't check me as long as his pawn is on d4. Checks, captures, threats, check. Knight c6 it is. 4.5 minutes. I'm attacking e6 now twice. I'm attacking a rook, and I have another check. Wow. Wow. This is what you want to do. Free online summer chess camp this week. Coming week, Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific time. dailychessmusings.com. Go check it out. Join the Daily Chess Musings Club on chess.com. Friend me. I'm Coach Tortoise. Send me a friend request on chess.com. If we aren't friends yet, we should be. This is something. This is really something. My king's safer than his king because this pawn is here. His own pawn is shielding my king for the moment. All right, so the problem is if he goes to take care of e6, then my knight could go back to d4 and win the pawn, right? And then once this happens, let's say he moves this knight over here, then I can do like that. And this is pinned too, right? So this is tricky. He's definitely feeling the pressure now. Okay. Good move. Good move. Good move. I think I play bishop takes pawn check. Queen takes bishop. Rook takes. No. He ends up material head if I do this. Okay. Rook takes pawn. If rook takes queen, then rook takes queen check. If queen takes rook, then bishop takes check. Rook takes pawn is the way to go. It's the way to go, right? Right? I'm low on time. Running these calculations low on time. Chess is so much fun, guys. And most of the time with my students, what am I doing? I'm doing like showing them, analyzing their games. There's that discover check, winning the queen back. And now I take more material advantage. I'm up 2 in material now. Most of the time, yeah, we're studying the classics, analyzing their games. But I will, play my students. And this particular student has earned his right to play me heads up. A lot of times, as you've seen on my broadcasts, I do play at odds. But this particular student has earned the right. He's gotten so good that we are now playing heads up occasionally, just like you're seeing here. And basically it's like a blitz game for me now. Not quite for him. He's got 7 minutes, 45 seconds. I've got 3:12. And I'm fairly comfortable in a 3-minute blitz game. I want to get my king advanced. I would, love to win one extra pawn. So my king is now guarding the e-file. I would love to win one more pawn, and then I got it. All right, now this is a little dangerous. This advancement here is a little bit dangerous, so we're going to play knight f3, blockade that for the moment. If he goes with this kind of idea, he's really opening up huge problems because of, rook takes h6. He's probably going to put another rook here, in which case I will probably use a bishop, or maybe drop my rook back. Let's see. No, I'm not going to drop my rook back. I'm going to, well, think about it, Chris. Think. I am going to drop my rook back. Okay. Now he can play g5, unfortunately, because I did drop my rook back, but he doesn't have a rook in the same file as the f file anymore, so my knight could go to d4. I have 2 minutes 45 seconds he's got. Yep, there it is. As predicted. So now my knight's eyeing like this kind of stuff, right? And I also may try and trade a rook with him. As long as I keep my king next to the open file that his remaining rook is in, it cannot gain access to the second rank, and I can use my bishop and knight to outmaneuver it in this kind of position. I mean, my knight has no restrictions on it other than his rooks. My bishop has a lot of scope. Again, hopefully I play this endgame well, and I'm going to be using short form video on YouTube Shorts, to teach everybody who wants to the most important endgames. So like all the important checkmates, the most comfortable techniques for those, and then good move. Do you want to trade with me? I'll take with my king if he does, because if I take with my knight, I allow his rook to come down, right? 2.5 minutes is what I have left. Okay. And my king has these nice squares, right? F2 still guards E1. His rook can't take advantage of an open file if it can't get down here. I've got my king on the side of the board with his pawn majority. His king is on the opposite side of the board as mine. Here's a nice fork. But then he gets a check, so I need to be careful about this. Let's stop this. This creates a long-term weakness here on this light square, and now I can advance my king up and in. Let's see. Fun stuff. Sorry I keep leaning forward. It's probably not the best camera angle for my face, but I get excited, right? I get excited. Chess is so much fun. All right, so I'm starting to make the shot at winning here. He can't guard it here with his rook, and he can't guard it there with his rook. So he can come down here. I'm letting him, but I'm going to take this with my knight. And then that with my king. Yeah, yep, yep. He's just realizing this now. Okay. And now we are very, very close indeed. Coming up here. He's, you know, he's going to go for the counterattack very soon. And I have to be very careful about it, because, like, if he gets his rook here and then takes here, if I take there with my knight, then yeah, he would move it. Yeah, there it is, right? It's a problem for me. I can't quite do what I need to do right away. I think I messed up moving. Yeah, I did. I messed up because he's going to get this now. Ugh. I messed up. Or this, right? I'll let him have that. I'm going to come back this way. He can win b2. I messed up. And then here we go. Coming in here to say check over there, right? I got to play fast now. I'm going to play fast and furious, do less narrating. I'm +1 in material, but my opponent has... You know what I might do? I might just block him in momentarily. No, that's silly, Chris. He can back up a square. Don't think about silly things. All right, let's attack this pawn. He can say check to me if he wants to, but then I'm going to play king e2. I'm going to take on a7 if he moves. Okay, good move. Good move. Wow. He's given me what I can handle. And then some. I'm down to 1:09. He's got 3 minutes. We're in a complicated little endgame struggle. He's got to worry about this pawn. He does not worry about this pawn. Now I have an outside pass pawn. I'm threatening his rook right away. I got to be careful about this weirdo checkmate thing. If his pawn... How long have I been coaching him? All year. All year. I've taken him from kind of a beginner level to what you're seeing. I'm trying to get my knight back here, right? Lucky for me, my bishop is defending the d-file. I have 54 seconds, by the way. He's got 2 minutes. No checkmate. He's got no checkmate because of my bishop. It's very, very important. But this is, his king is so, oh man. Ugh. He's got a runaway pawn. Maybe no checkmate, but he's got a runaway pawn. 38 seconds is what I have left time-wise. He's got a runaway pawn. 30 seconds is what I have. I'm going to move my knight closer. I'm throwing in this annoying check. He can push the pawn. Ah, he didn't see it. He's going to get that pawn in. Oh man. This is bad. Yeah, he's gonna win. He's gonna get this pawn in. I forgot about the runaway pawn. He got his king in a very good position, but he's down to 1 minute, so I could still win on time. Hey, a win on time is a win on time, right? is a win on time. Okay. Yeah, let's just make it as hard as we can. I have 17.8 seconds left. Ten seconds. He's got 30. He's got 30 seconds. I've got 7. He's got 13. I've got 1. 0.9. And he won on time. Oh. Wow. Wow, that was a good game. That was a good game. Let me message him. Good game. Whoops, I said good game. Good game. Ah, good game. That was fun. That was exciting. Let me go ahead and do a game review. I made 6 mistakes, 5 blunders, and missed 1 win. Let's see. Let's do a quick game review, shall we? Use those chess.com tools. And he found there's my student in chat. Excellent job. Excellent. You beat me in a live broadcast, man. Way to go, sir. All right, let's take a quick review since he's in the. It was a wild and chaotic game. Of course it was. I was playing. All right. Black Merdemer. And bishop takes e7 is a missed win. What did I miss? Ah, of course, of course. Of course. Wow. So early on, there was my missed win. All right, so right here, that is a missed win. And then if I played bishop takes e7, I was supposed to play bishop takes d5. And then hang on. I want to look at one other variation in this to make sure we all understand. And when I say we all, make sure I understand. Let me be honest. So if I play bishop takes d5, and then he goes here, it's that thing again. Yep. 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 Wow. Wow, wow. That was a neat tactic that I missed. Okay. So getting back to our actual game. Let me... All right, so right here I blew my chance to win. Bishop takes d5 wins. This was very clever. And I didn't like that move very much either, because it's just a slow pawn move. I have more pieces developed. Let's see. And this is considered to be bad. Considered to be bad. I should have played queen d2, but I played queen g3. which is, in fact, another missed win. What is the computer suggesting with queen d2? And yeah, so it's saying then this and then this, right? Right. Now, what did I see? I looked at that as well. And when I saw this move, I was no. Yeah, I just miscalculated that. Okay, so 2 missed wins. And another queen b6 is not a good move because I still have pawn c4. And I missed it. All right, so I missed the same tactic twice. The knight's guarding the knight, right? And I needed to push to remove one of the guards. All right, I pop my knight up nice and close to his king. And now rook takes f4. Computer likes, gives me an exclaim. Now I took charge, and I thought I did. But I got into a little bit of a time situation. Here's the draw offer. And my opponent declines the draw. And then I go to set up the checkmating kind of threat down there. And that was not best. Computer is saying that I should have played rook d1, putting my rook in the same file as my opponent's queen. But I was willing. f5 was not a good move. I lose. He loses a pawn. I take the material advantage. Knight c6 was best. And did I? Yeah, I just get a star, not an exclaim. I thought that was kind of an exclaim myself. And then, actually, I'm supposed to play queen takes d7 here. How did I not see that? Queen takes d7, then bishop takes fork. But let's see if the computer likes my weirdo. Hey, it gives me a thumbs up for this too. Cool. Check. And here comes endgame technique, and I must make a mistake. A pretty big one to get into so much trouble. And there it is. There's my big mistake. I knew it. I'm leaving too much trouble here and here, right? This was not the right idea. That. Now, I was a little low on time. I was down to like 2 minutes, but that's not an excuse for that kind of poor move. All right, so, yep. And, but it's saying that's a mistake too? Really? King g6 is the better choice for black here. No. Rook d3 is the better choice. Because threatening to come in there. All right. Knight d4 is a mistake. What should I have played here? Pawn to c4 right away. I get it on the next. I get it real soon. There it is. But again, when does the disaster happen? Over here. Here's where the disaster happens. If I play pawn c5 right now, I am good. I am good. I'm starting my run with my passed pawn, and I have one pawn, 2 pawns on one, but my king's over here, and they're both isolated, so I'd be okay. So, for example, c5, if f3 to create a passed pawn, then g takes f3, rook takes f3, but then I play king e2 it's saying. I think, going over there, but oh well. All right, king e2. And then the idea is he plays h3, but then I play c6. Okay, so we both have running passed pawns, but mine will turn into a queen. It'd be a 2-queen endgame. Interesting. But instead, I goof this up, and it turns into a 1-queen endgame. There's my goof up. And that is huge. That is a huge blunder. He has mate and 6 here. And instead I should have played king g1 to try and stop the pawn because my bishop is guarding against checkmate for the moment. I was a little scared to do that, but going this way, and I was very low on time, so 38 seconds, definitely a factor. And then let's show the mate in 6, shall we? It's saying rook e2, king d1. Oh yeah. It's not rocket science, right? His rook has me cut off, and then he's going to scoot that pawn forward. Okay. So I messed up here. And then yep. And that's where we finished. And he had just a little bit more time than I did. Just a little bit. You can see the clock said 0.00.9 versus 0.00.6. So that was awesome fun. I hope you enjoyed today's game. And I hope you join us for the free online summer chess camp starting Monday. We will be utilizing Twitch, YouTube, our chess.com club, and the Daily Chess Musings website. You can find out all about it on dailychessmusings.com. All right. Well, I'm glad that we captured my student's first win against me ever. That's exciting. This was his first win against me, and it has been captured and is preserved. The moves are preserved on chess.com, and the video was being live streamed as well. And with that, I'm going to bid everybody an adieu, and I look forward to seeing a bunch of you back Monday. Thank you so much to everybody who came and took part in the show. Bye-bye, everybody. Oh, thank you, Arcane Doctrine. Let's do a raid. Tell me again, how do I do that, and who should I send it to? We should always raid somebody, right? Right. It's the friendly thing to do. Okay, we will raid Photo Chess, and what's the command for it again? I need to remember this. But this is why Arcane Doctrine is such a fantastic... All right, so we say /raid Photo Chess. All right, got it. Thank you so much, Arcane Doctrine. And we are now raiding. 2 viewers are ready to raid. 3, 2, 1. Whatever we can do to help somebody out, let's do it. It's the friendly thing, right? And yeah, maybe someday they will raid us back. All right, everybody have a great evening. I will see you Monday morning, bright and early, for the start of the Daily Chess Musings free online summer chess camp. Bye.